For decades, celebrities were untouchable, gods in human form. But something's changed. From Oprah's downfall to influencers being called out as out-of-touch elites, society is turning against its own idols. Have you ever wondered why idol worship was forbidden in so many religious traditions? From Christianity and Islam to Judaism and even aspects of Buddhism, the idea of worshipping false idols has been condemned for thousands of years. The reasoning behind it wasn't just about spirituality, it was about power, control, and human psychology. Because when people place their faith in something external, be it a golden calf, a divine ruler, or even a modern-day celebrity, they surrender a piece of their autonomy. And for centuries, organized religion cautioned against this, warning that to worship a false idol was to risk being led astray, manipulated, or deceived. But in the modern world, as traditional religion has declined, that psychological need for worship didn't just disappear, it evolved. We didn't stop believing, we simply found new idols. Instead of saints, prophets, and deities, we now revere pop stars, influencers, and billionaires. The cult of celebrity has become its own kind of religion, with social media as the temple. But here's the thing about idols, they always let us down. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned us about this. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he famously declared, "God is dead." But Nietzsche wasn't celebrating this. He feared that without a central, guiding belief system, people would seek out new gods, ones that weren't divine, but human. He predicted that in the absence of traditional religious faith, society would replace it with worship of individuals, movements, and ideologies. And for a while, that's exactly what happened. Celebrities became the new deities, and Hollywood became our temple. We revered them, defended them, imitated them. But Nietzsche also warned of something else, that once people realized these idols were flawed, that they were mere mortals pretending to be gods, the cycle of worship would collapse. And that's exactly where we are now. You can see it in the way society is turning on the very people it once worshipped. Take Oprah Winfrey, once considered one of the most beloved and trusted public figures in America. She faced massive backlash after asking the public for donations to aid Maui wildfire victims. Despite personally owning a 2,000-acre Hawaiian estate, people saw it as a moment of pure hypocrisy. Why should billionaires be asking regular people for money when they themselves have more wealth than entire towns? She wasn't just Oprah anymore. She was part of the elite class, and suddenly people weren't sure if they were on the same side. Then there's Kylie Jenner, a reality TV star turned billionaire. She built her empire on the illusion of luxury and accessibility until she was exposed for taking 17-minute private jet flights for distances that could have been driven in 40 minutes. At a time when people are struggling with inflation, when working-class families are budgeting every dollar, this level of out-of-touch extravagance felt like a slap in the face. The backlash wasn't just about the environment or her wealth, it was about the growing resentment toward the unchecked excess of the ultra-rich. But if there's one recent example that has shattered the illusion of celebrity worship, it's Sean P. Diddy Combs. A man once idolized as a music mogul and cultural icon is now facing shocking allegations of abuse and corruption. The same man who sold himself as the ultimate success story, proof that fame and fortune equal greatness, has been unmasked. And what we're left with is not an idol, but a man whose legacy is crumbling under the weight of his own deception. This isn't just about celebrities, it's about us. Jean Baudrillard, the philosopher of hyperreality, warned us about this moment. He believed that in a media-saturated world, reality itself is replaced by carefully curated images and illusions. Celebrities aren't just people anymore, they're brands, ideas, symbols. But when the illusion cracks, when we see the real person behind the brand, the spell is broken. Social media has accelerated this collapse. Before, celebrities were distant figures, their personas crafted by PR teams and Hollywood studios. Now, they are constantly under scrutiny, every action analyzed, every misstep amplified. The same platforms that built them up are now tearing them down. And maybe that's why the tide is turning. Society is beginning to realize that the people they once idolized are not just out of reach. They're fundamentally disconnected from the realities of ordinary life. Plato, in the Republic, spoke of the noble lie, the idea that societies function best when people believe in a shared mythology. In the past, this mythology was religion, but in the modern world, that mythology became fame, fortune, and influence. The idea that if you worked hard enough, if you followed the right role models, you too could ascend to that divine level. But now, we're waking up to the reality that this too was a lie. So where do we go from here? If celebrities are no longer our gods, if social media is tearing down the idols we once worshipped, what do we believe in now? Perhaps this is an opportunity to move beyond the cycle of idolization and destruction. Maybe instead of seeking meaning in external figures, we turn inward. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard argued that true faith, true purpose, isn't found in following others, but in deep self-examination. He believed that the greatest danger was not external control, but internal self-deception, the illusion that we can find meaning through others rather than through our own choices. So maybe this is our moment to break free. Maybe the fall of celebrity culture isn't a loss, but a liberation. Maybe, for the first time in modern history, we can look at the people we once idolized, recognize them as flawed human beings, just like us, and finally stop seeking salvation in the hands of others. Because in the end, every idol falls, every golden calf is melted down. The only question that remains is this: when the last celebrity falls from grace, will you be ready to stand on your own?